So, what happens when an adrenaline junkie marries a drama queen and they travel around the world on a catamaran? Come see the places, meet the people, and enjoy the experiences that make each destination special. And learn why traveling by boat provides more than just transportation, but a path to real adventure. And adventure builds character. Or was it characters? Either way, what is the worst that can happen?
Stay tuned for more at LostatSea.tv. Arr. Hey there, LostatSea.tv. I've got an important guest I want to introduce you guys to, my friend Wally Moran. Wally is pretty much the consummate expert on ICW cruising. He runs rallies yearly, bringing people up north, down through the ICW, all the way to the islands. And we've got him here to answer some questions and give you guys some insight into what it takes to cruise the ICW and why you should cruise the ICW. So, Wally?
Hello, everyone. Really a pleasure to join you here on the show. What would you like? What would you like your viewers to know about the ICW?
The rally that you're running, where does it start?
The rally will be starting this year in Hampton, Virginia, which is sort of a central point for anybody coming down from north, coming out of the Annapolis Boat Show. From Hampton, we'll spend a day or two getting oriented and organized, and then from there we'll start cruising on down, probably through the Dismal Swamp Canal, because everybody likes to do the Dismal, and then into the Albemarle, and then on through North Carolina, South Carolina, all the way down to Miami. That's the standard run, and we'll have stops along the way. We'll probably detour to do part of the Albemarle run. They have a circuit there with a number of marinas that offer special deals, and just explore and let people get a sense of what the East Coast ICW is really like.
Okay. The rally itself, do you spend the entire time on the ICW? Do you do any passages outside?
We attempt to do at least one passage outside for those who have not done it. One of the misconceptions that a lot of people have is that people on these rallies are absolutely new to boating, to sailing and cruising. And the fact of the matter is most of them have fairly significant experience. Two of the big reasons they're doing it. One is because they want somebody who will take over the decision making on the ICW. In other words, we don't have to explore and examine every factor and learn all these details. We have Wally to do that. Okay? The second reason is because as new cruisers, and most of them are new cruisers, although they're not new to boating, they've left their home, this sounds really bad, they've left their homes and families, they've quit their jobs, they're heading out on a new adventure, but they've lost access to their peer group, to their social network. Joining a rally gives them a new social network of people who are doing the same thing that they're doing, that's people who are sharing the same goals and adventures with them, and what it means is that they're not on their own anymore. They don't have to spend 24/7 looking at that other person that they're on the boat with. They now have friends and that they can share the adventure with. And that's a big part of the rally. Any rally, not just mine.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the social aspect of cruising is a huge reason why we get into it. Like I said, I've almost never had a bad experience meeting people on the water. And I definitely think that doing anything like that as a group not only adds to the fun, but it's also going to mean you're going to meet people with different skill sets and different experiences, and you're all there to help and support each other, whether it be fixing our boat in exotic places or local knowledge in a specific port, or people have maybe a better grasp on diesel mechanics or electricity or all the various people come from all different walks of life. That having a group of people means that just maybe whatever your skill set lacks, you may pick up those skills along the way from not only from you but from the other cruisers.
That's very true. Like I was just talking at the show here with one of my cruisers in the next rally coming up this fall, a fellow by the name of Scott, and he was indicating he's actually qualified as a mechanic. And hopefully nobody's going to need a mechanic, but the reality of the whole thing is at some point somebody's going to have some kind of problem, and that's another. It's nice to know that somebody along who knows enough about diesel mechanics that if somebody needs a hand, they can get a hand. And that's another big thing about the rally. My first rally, we had one of our boats break down. His prop shaft broke and he lost half his prop shaft and his propeller 4 hours out of the gate. So I sat by him until the towboat came up and took him to a marina where he could get it fixed. But you've got that security of knowing there are people around there who will be looking out for you. And that's vitally important.
I think that's vitally important too, on just giving some people the courage to finally get off the dock and go do something, right? Any knowledge they don't have, there's going to be somebody there with it, and they're going to learn along the way. I know we had a great time when Sarah decided that she was on board for this whole get on a boat and cruise the world thing. One of the things that was for her, she was worried about is, what if something happened to me? What would she be able to do? Would she be able to sail the boat? We went and did an ASA sailing school for 7 days to bring her up to speed. And there were, we were on a catamaran, so all the cabins were full. We had 4 or 5 other people there, all learning together, and it was great to have other people to support you. Also great, some people think we're crazy. Well, so get on a small boat, go. But at the same time, when you're surrounded by other crazy people who have the same crazy dream as you don't feel so crazy.
I came from a hard rock mining town in Northern Ontario in Canada, and the attitude, like, you're going to go do what, where, why? And it wasn't until I got down to Annapolis and I found out it was just another damn sailor, and I felt at home. And,
Right.
and that's a good feeling, to be around people who share your goals and your ambitions to do something, especially in an adventure like this, because the people who come on these rallies are not, they're starting out on living their dream. They spent years working, they spent years building, raising their families, building their business, or working for somebody else, and they've typically achieved some position of some prominence in that business. They're accomplished people, and suddenly they're doing something that's completely foreign and that has no set schedule. In other words, it's 180 degrees different from anything they've done in their life before. It's exciting, but it's also frightening, and doing it with other people really gives you a lot more courage and a lot more confidence that you can accomplish this. It's a big, big help for you.
I think so, and like you said, most of them have boating experience.
Yes.
And they may be familiar with their boat, they may be familiar with the concept of sailing, but what they don't have is local knowledge on all the inlets and marinas and ports along the way, and that's the main information that you can provide and help them understand.
Exactly. What I do is with each day, I've got a plan in mind. We're going to go from A to B. I'm going to plan ahead for the difficult spots in the ICW, because there are some. There's some shoal spots, there's some places with significant current. When you get down into Florida, for example, you have segments with a lot of bridges, and I plan that so we can come through them comfortably. For example, Little Mud River in Georgia, very, very shoal spot. Most boats cannot go through that at low tide. So we plan it and we come through it so that everybody has no difficulties with it. The last rally south, when we came to that, there was something like, not just my rally, there was a bunch of other boats that were in the group, all waiting around so they could get through, and everybody's milling around and they're trying to make a decision. Now my boat is bright red. So I just got on the VHF and I said, okay folks, there should be enough water that we can go through here, form up behind the red boats, make sure that the lower draft boats are the first ones in line, so that the bigger draft boats will be coming through with a bit more water underneath, and just follow me. Now I had the advantage of having been given some extra information of where the route was to follow through my contacts at Waterway Guide. So I knew we come in, we veer over to the left about 75 feet off. That kind of information that I had, because I know where to find it comfortably. And that made it easy. All the boats made it through with no problem. We had a lineup of, I think it was 23 or 25 boats. Great fun. We had power cruisers, we had sailboats, we had everything from 25 feet to probably 50 feet going through. And it was fun watching the whole lineup go through. And my biggest fear, I was terrified I'd make a mistake and bump aground. I mean, how do you live it down when you're leading a crew like that and all? And we did. We all got through safely.
That is true.
So it was excellent. And that's the kind of thing that I want to give people. Where there's difficult spots, my knowledge will carry them through, or I can give them the knowledge they need to carry on.
And that's also, as far as having peace of mind when cruising for the first time and getting your feet wet on the ICW, not running aground and having to call Boat US or Towboat or anything else, that might save you the money to afford to participate in the rally.
Typically,
as compared to that.
Typically, they will save more money. Like, we get good deals from the marinas, we get fuel discounts, we get dockage discounts, we get quite a bit of free dockage even. Those things will pay for a good portion of the fee. And, but again, just the parties alone, the fun they have, and the friendships. The people from my first rally, several of them got together last night and had dinner here at the Miami show. People from the last rally are constantly talking still on Facebook and making plans to join up with one another. Not only are they joining with people they're sharing an adventure with, they're making new friendships that will go on for years and years and years. And there's no putting a value on that. I mean, these are now wonderful friends who've done things together. And that's really what cruising is about. See, the people who come on these rallies, they typically know boating, although I've had one or two that were completely new to it. Got an email from one lady the other day. We've never anchored. Okay, we'll work on that one. But not publicly, but I make a point of, as we go through, I try to teach them cruising values, things they need to know when cruising. For example, when you bring your dinghy into a dock, you leave a good long painter. Things that they wouldn't normally pick up in their sailing careers because they've not experienced it. But things that make them better cruisers and more able to do things correctly as they move along. Whether they're going to the Bahamas or whether they're going to Cuba or whether they're going to the west coast of Florida, wherever they're going, they will be comfortable because they know how to cruise. Not just to sail, but to cruise.
Well, that's important. I mean, when you think about going to a sailing school and learning the intricacies of just sailing a boat, that's one skill set. But taking that boat from place to place to place is a whole other skill set. So I guess I understand then that you spend some time at anchor, some time at marinas, or is it pretty much marina to marina?
It's both. It's both marinas and anchorages. What I try and do is to make sure that each night people have a choice of going to a marina or an anchorage. We prearrange the marinas so that we have the docks available because, of course, we're going through during high season. What that means is that there's a lot more boats than just us out there. So what happens is we call ahead, we make sure that the marinas are ready for us. We tell them what size boats to expect, what widths, everything else, so they can get us well placed and it goes very, very smoothly. But I also want to make sure for those who'd rather anchor out or who are more budget-minded and want to anchor out that they have options available to them. It's flexibility. I don't believe in mandating you must do this because that's not how I want to run a rally. I want people to say, this is my choice and Wally will support me in doing this. And that's what we do. That's what we try to do.
You know, I did want to plug one other thing that I know you've been involved in. I think that this really is the best time ever in the history of the planet to really cruise and travel by boat. Besides the fact that we have all these great boats, we have all this electronic equipment that make it easier than ever is, but now information like this is being passed in a much easier fashion, and a lot of it's happening because of Facebook.
Exactly.
Okay, there are several Facebook groups on now that are on the topics of sailing and cruising, and there is a huge amount of information. Brand new people are asking questions, and you're getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of seasoned sailors putting their opinions, some good, some bad. And we talk about important topics like, what's the best anchor? Oh God, please don't post that question. Or
rum.
Should I carry guns on my boat? No, never post that question. What's better? Should I get a catamaran or a monohull? Never post that question. But other than that, there are some great conversations, and it's a wonderful source of information. So, Ronnie, if I can talk, Wally moderates the sailing and cruising group on Facebook. So you can get on Facebook, go to the search, hit sailing and cruising. It's one of the largest groups, and he does a really good job of removing all the riffraff and like the people who post those things I just mentioned. No, you can still post that. Nobody's going to take your head off. You have a question, you have a question. But I really think it's a great source of information. I'm on it daily, and I think everybody should get involved. Get on Facebook, get involved in the Sailing and Cruising Facebook group. You'll learn a lot.
The big thing about sailing and cruising, and this is why it's grown so rapidly and so quickly to be the second largest cruising group on Facebook, is because I make a really strong point. Don't say something online that you wouldn't say in the cockpit to a guy sitting across from you. In other words, show some respect for your fellow members. And that's been a really, really prime directive. And there's been times when we've had to put the hammer down and explain to people that's not acceptable. I mean, we're going to have the odd troll, we're going to have the odd spammer, but I mean, that goes with social networking.
It goes with social networking. It also goes with, let's face it, sailing and cruising is a great way to meet interesting people.
Oh God, yes.
Interesting stories. The people that go out and cruise are not the kind of people who want to sit home and watch TV all day. They're the kind of people that do things and accomplish things.
Yeah,
And that means you get more than your fair share of eccentrics and strong-minded people. I think it makes for more interesting conversation. I would rather be around those kind of people.
It does.
Than like I said, the people who go, oh yeah, let's buy a boat and cross oceans.
The other thing we have a great many experts. Like, for example, Robert Perry, the designer. Well, he's currently doing a build of 4 carbon fiber boats. Okay, one guy bought 4 boats that he's placing in different parts of the world. You know, that's an amazing project. Robert has been for the last, I guess, almost a year. Every couple of days, every week, he's putting out a post about this build with pictures. Where else, anywhere, can you actually watch a new concept boat being built by a world-class designer by Robert Perry, and then go online and ask him questions about it and have him answer it? And I go out looking, because I'm in the industry, it's a little easier. I go out looking for experts to join the sailing and cruising group who can answer questions from a professional, authoritative basis. So the information that cruisers are getting, new or old, is top-notch information. I think that's vitally important to people. And a number of people have said to me, Wally, this is the best source of information we found online yet. It's like our Cuba site. I have people who live in Cuba on their boats. I have Cuban expats who live here. I'm probably the only person who can arrange to find out for you if there's dock space available at Marina Hemingway in Cuba, because we look for that kind of valuable information. Same thing with sailing and cruising. It's vitally important that we're a top-notch source. Not just another Facebook page, but an authoritative source that gives you good information. And that's been working out well.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, all from Mr. Wally Moran. You can look for his articles in Cruising World. He writes for them currently. If you Google his name, you'll find a lot of references in some of the cruising guides, especially in the ICW and Cuba. You've got some websites as well, your cruising guide website. What's the URL there?
The website for the rally is ICWally, so ICWally.com. And there people can get information on the rallies if they want. They can find a brochure. They can choose to join up. They can contact me with questions. So that site and the Facebook sites are my 2 main online sources for contact and for information.
Okay, excellent. All right, Wally, it was a pleasure talking to you once again. And stay tuned to LostatSea.tv for more exciting info from the Miami International Boat Show, Strictly Sailing.